Right, hello everyone. Welcome to Friday night. We're here for PRF1. As you can see, it's full qualifying 50% race at Paul Ricard, France. I can hear myself on the stream, so that's working. Right, I'm nicking something from another lead that I do comms on, and we're going to do a quick interview with a couple of guys actually before we get underway. So there's Robbo. So we're going to invite Robbo Snipes in to the party, and Davis. Where's Davis? There's Davis. Let's get these two lunatics in. Evening, Kai. Thank you for joining again, sir. Very kind. So, just need these two to come in to the party if they don't mind, if they haven't forgotten. Here's one. Here's Davis. Robbo. Come on, Robbo. Where is he? What's going on? Come on. Right, just a second. I've not. I've got to include your audio in a way, so let's just do this. Right, you should be able to include your audio now, buddy, on the party menu.
Yeah, I've done it.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, well, we'll carry on. Can't wait around all day for Robbo, so we'll carry on. How are you? And speaking to you,
I'm good,
have I spoken to you before?
mate. You?
Yeah,
Uh,
all good.
yeah, a couple of times. Yeah, I'm not ashamed of some of my results.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's it. So you have been on the podium a couple of times, haven't you? So, um,
yeah.
yeah. So we've spoken before. All that. Well, I mean, obviously, I was going to do this with you and Robbo, but we'll just do it ourselves. So, first of all, then, how's your season started? Are you happy with how it's gone so far?
Uh, yeah. It's been a good start. There's been some races where I've dropped positions and not really been happy with the outcome, but it's gone all right. Yeah. Just been a bit annoying not having a teammate. Obviously, Fatal's had wheel issues, which is unfortunate for him. He's not been able to get it even going. But yeah, no, it's been all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was probably the main reason I chose to sort of ask you and Robbo in tonight, is because it's been announced today, if you like, that you two are going to be driving together again now, as you did last season. So, teammates once again. You got to be pleased with that, and you worked well together last season.
Yeah, yeah. We were calling for it last race of last season, but I think the way they do the draw means that it wasn't really possible. But obviously, the last sort of round of the draw, it was a 50-50 between between Robbo and Fatal, who my teammate was. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, no, yeah, happy to have Robbo back. He's a good teammate.
absolutely. So yeah, it's good to see you back together. Anyway, as I say, you work well together, the two of you. Um, so yeah, really good to see you. Um, I'm obviously gonna have to contact Robbo because I'm gonna need my appearance feedback from him. As soon as he ain't turned up. So, did you get yours? Your appearance fee?
Yeah. Mine's come to the bank. Yeah. It was
Excellent.
bigger than the Red Bull news today, so
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Did you see that? The
it's
new.
good
Oh,
news.
exactly the same as last year.
Yeah.
And the year before. And the
Well,
year before that.
expected. Expected.
Yeah. It's the new Ferrari. You
Maybe the
know.
money maybe the money they've saved on livery design can go into the actual car or catering,
Yeah.
whatever they decide.
Yeah. I was gonna say catering. Yeah. Food budget. Oh God. You got to feed Jerry, haven't they? Um,
That's
Jerry
it. That's
Halliwell.
it.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, look. I wish you all the best. What do you What do you like round here at France? I know a lot of drivers don't seem to
I
like
actually,
it for some reason, but I like it. But
yeah, we're just on the practice lobby then, and there's not a lot of people that actually like the track. I mean, the track's not great, but I'm pretty quick round it, so I'm hoping
yeah,
for a good result.
yeah, good. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I suppose as a commentator, it is actually a good race to watch normally, France. So if you, especially if you can escape the occasional carnage. It's well during the first sector really. It's not just turn one; it's the whole of the first sector. If you get through that the first time round, then usually it just turns into a great race. It's a low safety car opportunity risk round there because it's so many runoff areas and that. So usually ends up being a good race with plenty of overtaking. So let's hope for that tonight.
Um,
Um,
my my setups it's done.
cool. Yeah. So just looking, you're ninth in the drivers at the moment, and well, it says you're ninth, but you're actually eighth because there is no eighth place. So I don't know how
Ah,
that's worked out. Oh, I reckon that's Greza. No, that isn't Greza. Greza's third. Unless there's a
right.
reserve in there that's hidden, I think you may actually be eighth, not ninth, because there's no eighth place. So that's the only thing I could think. And so that's not too bad a start. And then constructors.
So this is the only thing I'm a bit disappointed about. My Aston Martin points can't carry over to AlphaTauri or um because you can't do it on the app. So it's kind of like starting again. But I'm not bothered. I'm back with Robbo. That was the main thing that I wanted really.
Yeah, yeah. I use the app. You can amend it. It is possible, but
Ah,
yeah,
well,
it's just yeah. I'll speak to Greza or someone and see if we can get that sorted for you. It looks like people are starting to ready up, so I'm going to ask you my last question. Which is I did have things planned, so I was asking both of you, so it'd been a bit more fun. But anyway, my last question for my last question on my interviews before qualifying, I always ask something just a bit random. Okay, so here's yours. Basically, if you could be an animal, any
oh,
animal, what would you be and why?
um, wow, what a question. Um, Shark, 'cause they always move forward, they never go back.
Ah, that's a good answer. I like that. I like that one. That's probably one of the best answers I've had. I've had most people just say like cat, so I can sleep all day, stuff like that.
Um,
But that's a good
I hate
answer.
cats.
Oh, hey,
No,
well, that I'm going to demand my appearance fee back from you as well then, because I'm a massive cat
no,
person. I
well,
love
I'm very sorry, mate.
them.
I'm a dog man, so
Fair enough. All right, then. I suppose it's got to be some of you. Um, all right then. Well, look, I'd best let you get into qualifying, and I'll get going with the actual racing. So, all the best, mate. Wish you all the best, and Robbo, even if he didn't bother turning up. And you know,
I'll tell him off. Don't worry, I'll whip him
thank
into
you.
shape.
Good, good. So it seems like he needs it.
Cheers, Hilly.
Awesome. Thank you, Davis. Best of luck, buddy.
Have a good dream, mate. Hopefully, speak to you after the race.
Hopefully, yeah. Right, so there we have it, guys. That was Davis that we've heard from. Bit disappointed there. Robbo ain't turned up. I had it all planned for two of them, so it ruined my questions. Couldn't really ask what I was going to ask. So there you go. Um, in a way. Um, Evening Kai, we said that one. Hello, operator. Of course I've missed you, Taz. Stop getting those headaches. Sort it out. Um, yeah, it is well. Yeah, yeah. Great idea. Pre qualifying interviews, I call them actually. Um, but yeah, I don't know where I got it from, but just suddenly come to mind. Um, no, I do of course do it in WIOF one, and that's fine. I can do it. I can do it wherever I like. Well, to be quite honest, you don't own me, mate. All right. You have to pay me a lot more than you do now to own me. Um, right. Okay. Just taking the Wi-Fi off my phone so that it's not interrupting with the stream. Hopefully we'll get through okay tonight. Been having a few issues recently with being kicked from sessions and that and lobbies, so hopefully we'll be okay tonight. Anyway, despite the drivers not liking France, I really like France. I am a driver as well, and I'm not a very good one, but I am one, and I happen to really like France myself. But I think it gives you all the different challenges you could possibly ask for. It's got fast corners, slow corners, chicanes, hairpins, It's got a right-hander, which we'll be coming up to in a moment with Taz here on his outlap. That's pretty much unique throughout the whole of the calendar. So this, not this right-hander he's coming through right now, but if I go on board here, this right-hander, which is a kind of double apex, with the second part being a really late apex. The only other corner I can think of that is slightly like that is a left-hander at Miami. There's no other real corners that are like that, and I enjoy that one. But in a way, Taz has been missing a little bit recently. He's been suffering with the old migraines, I believe, so glad to see him back on track this week. Our young Greek friend, and driving his McLaren. Annoyingly, he was going to get some great airtime. He's had some great airtime, but he's managed to invalidate both laps, this lap and next lap, out of the final corner. So we're going to move to the Haas that was behind him. There we go. So this is TSD Goomba, who's a regular staple on the Friday nights. And going through a bit of a lack of form at the recently in qualifying. So I think he'd really like, because he's off to a spinner. He's off to a spinner. Spinning start. Quite a common place to find a spin or two there. And but he's back going in a way. Plenty of lap left as well to gather back the ERS energy. So let's come to Scott here, who is oh goodness me, he's changed his gamer tag as well. Staldy Caca in it, Scott. I believe. Somebody has to tell me if I'm wrong, but I think Scott was Staldy Caca. They should be used to it by now, Grezza. I can't help it, buddy. I don't know who's actually on the lap and who's not here. What about, is that an Aston Martin? Yeah, that was Zombie. Would have been good to see him on his first lap, but he's invalidated. Yeah, so just a quick shout out for Zombie and who else was it? Zombie and is it Lion that's making his debut tonight as well? Well, Zombie's making his debut, and I think it's Lion that hasn't raced yet this season, so he's making his season debut. But Zombie is oh no, it's COYS. So I'm guessing that means come on you Spurs, but I won't be calling him come on you Spurs. I'll be calling him Coys. Coys is also making his debut. So shout out to Coys and Zombie making their debut for us tonight. And here goes Spriggs then onto a lap. So let's stick with Spriggs. Yeah, I thought so, yeah. It just took me a moment for the name to come to me, Preza, but you know, birthday. But you know, it was my birthday last Saturday, so you know, just in case anybody had forgotten about that. And you know, I'm getting on a bit, man. You know, the brain don't work quite as quick as it used to. And Mr. Well, you can look at me like that all you like. It's Right, Spriggs not going too bad here as he comes into sector 3 around this right-hander, as I mentioned, that I really quite enjoy. Followed by quite another unique corner, really, this left-hander, which is very late braking. You really do brake very late for it, and late apex, but you've got to take it like that in order to get the exit speed, otherwise you'll lose time. And round on to the pit straight then, and Spriggs gets his evening off with a 31.5. That puts him quickest so far. Davis, who we spoke to earlier, was quickest, but it's now P2. Shrek heads for the line on the medium tyres, 133.041. And he's P7 now. So Atkins down here for Romeo. Well, hopefully not Taz, yeah. Atkins 32.5, that puts him into P5. So, obviously it's only Q1. We will be expecting pole position in the 130s. Very demanding. I do get told that by the drivers. I'm very demanding. Yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly where to expect in the 130s. I think pole position last season here was Greza, and I think he managed a 130.8. If I'm remembering that right, I know I did see it somewhere earlier on, but if my memory serves me right, I think it was a 130.8. I think he put it up because I told one of the other drivers it's definitely going to be a 29 for pole, and they were like, "What? No, how can they do that? I can't even do a 130, let alone a 129." So Greza put their mind at rest and said, "No, it's going to be a 130." He's taking a mick. Basically, what I'm saying is Greza stopped me having my fun. Here comes Kamarov in away, 131.5, puts him into P2, just 14 thousandths behind Spriggs. I'm sure those times at the top there will be good enough to get into Q2. Obviously, let's pick up a heli hot lap in a minute. Let's put the Wi-Fi back on my phone because I had to turn the Wi-Fi back on my phone, guys, so that the stream actually works on my phone. Otherwise, it keeps turning off. Let me know if you're having any issues, if it's lagging at all, and then I'll switch it back off. Just have to do it that way. Right, let's go down to one of our new drivers then. So Coys, as you can see by the little picture next to his name, he's on PlayStation. Our other new driver tonight, Zombie, is on Xbox, which is of course the best console, so he's already a winner in my book. Yeah, I just only just realised actually Zombie and Coys are teammates this evening as well. They're both in Aston Martin, aren't they? So neither Aston Martin boys turned up. Which obviously isn't good. So here comes Coys then across the line for his first ever completed lap in PRF1, and it's a 132.8, puts him into P11 for the moment. Time will tell if he's going to need to improve on that to get through Q1. I think that's pretty touch and go, that sort of time. I certainly wouldn't be retiring on it and assuming it would be okay. I think that's one you're going to have to just maybe sit and wait a little bit for. The absence Robbo crosses the line to 32.6. There we have it. Let's come down to Master Spread. I was about to say Master Spread, our championship leader. Is he still our championship leader? Let's have a look, shall we? Haas leading the constructors, by the way, at the moment. And no, he's not our championship leader. It's Kamarov who's leading the championship by 24 points as well, actually. So flying is Cami at the moment. Let's see what Spreader can do on his first attempt. Doesn't always show his well, none of the top guys really ever show their true pace in the early sessions of qualifying. Um, but I think Spreader hides it more than others a little bit. 31.7, so he's not too far off the very front guys. In fact, look at that. He's less than 2 tenths off, and yet he's in P7, and he's less than 2 tenths off at P1. Exceptionally close at the moment up that end of the table. Let's come down then. So Dark Mark and Dre, the two still to get a time on the board, although Goomba hasn't yet got a representable time. Everybody has got a set of softs on their car currently. So, well, is it me? Does that sky look a bit dark and dull and grey and dingy? Is there rain on the way? Because that really did look. So they're very close to UK, France, so I assume their weather's reasonably similar to ours, which is generally horrendous. So I was just sniffing to see how Dre was getting on, but he's invalidated on his run. I said this a little bit recently, but Dre, you never quite know what you're going to get. Plenty of qualifyings where he's right up the front somewhere, and then other times he doesn't get through Q1, so you just never quite know what you're going to get from him. I'm trying to see if I can spot any rain. I don't think so. I can't see anything at the moment. It's not always, when you're spectating, it's not always the easiest to spot. It's usually a bit easier if you're actually out there driving. You tend to notice it quicker. It is a bit Taz. So if it does come, it comes at the start of the next session rather than messing this session up towards the end. So it's still got the hilly hot lap done, have I? We'll get that done in just a moment. But here's one of the guys which are fighting to try and get through into Q2. This is the Haas of Goomba. Just come up to the end of sets of 2 now. He's 9.2 up, pretty much, which puts him on a 33.7. So presumably he's got a lot more to find in this final set, so I think he could well be going into the top 15, which is where you got to be. Here he comes. So as long as nothing silly happens on the final corner, and it hasn't, we'll see where he is across the line. Quite a long run to the line, and it's a 33.8. I thought he was going to gain in the final sector, but he hasn't really. So he actually stays P18. It is true, Boshan, you're right. And France is one of those countries that you don't know either. Probably go opposite to what the forecast says. And yes, Gretas does want a toe, please. Look at that. What a teammate. What a teammate. See the Ferrari getting out of the way further down the road. That was presumably for Goomba, actually, so who presumably is on an in-lap, so man in danger at the moment is Dordi Kaka, and he's leaving it. I was going to say he's leaving it late to get out of pits. Actually, he was right on the pit exit, just so I went to say that. So he's out. Boshan's out. I think Boshan has just timed that to come out a little bit ahead of Taz to give him the toe down the straights. but there is a Ferrari between them. So, anyway, we are on with Dark Mark as he opens up the DRS and heads to the line. And 32.1, that puts him into P9. It means that Kois has gone into the drop zone as well as Dordy Kaka. Somebody else improved. Oh, I think it was Operators improved up to P14. He may have improved up to P13, but the improvement from Dark Mark would have knocked him back down again. But ahead of his Ferrari teammate, Big D at the moment, who's in a bit of trouble. Oh, Gumbo retires from the session. That is in the pits. Dre rounds the final corner and will charge towards the line. Seems to get a bit out of shape there, is he? Yeah, he stays P19. Well, that is a shock. That is a real shock. We have lost Dre once again in Q1. And it looks to me... Right. Yeah, unfortunately, Grittas hasn't done it. There's a spin from him as well. Dordy. Looks like Dordy must have gotten across the line just in time. Did Dre then? Yeah, Dre did, but surely he's not got the energy to be able to improve this. Let's just see. He's not that far off his PB, but that's going to take a huge improvement in the final section for him. And I think Dordy as well is in the same boat. He's not. Don't know if something happened at the start of his lap, but he's well down in sector 1. And the fact that his energy's gone up down the straights suggests to me he's definitely not on a hot lap. So I think that's it for Q1. Looks like we're going to lose Grittas on his return by just 6 thousandths of a second as well. How close was that to losing Big D? That would have been 2 massive shocks. Well, actually, yeah, we've already got 2 massive shocks. Grittas is out. Dordy Kaka is out. But on top of that, we've lost Shrek from Q1 and Dre as well. So they're 2 massive surprises. That's what I like with PRF1 recently. It's there's no one on the grid anymore that isn't capable of getting through to Q2. So Q1 is always going to be an exceptionally close battle, really. I mean, you know, I'm saying that's 2 shocks. You could say all of them are a shock, but you know, Gumba down at the back there, but he's very, very capable of getting through to Q2. So that's what I mean. It's really, really tight. And oh, Big D saying yeah, running no traction and issues. Grittas is running no traction and has skill issues. So we've seen who's true. Just to look at that, the top 7 covered by 0.177. How much I wish that could continue. I guess the big news of Q1, other than the guys that we've lost, I suppose the other big news is that the 2 debutants are both through into Q2. So well done to those 2, and let's see if they can go much further. Zombie was P4 on a 31.5, and Koi's 32.2. And there's the incidents, just in case they were wanted, but I doubt it. Operator through to Q2. Well done, my friend. Well done indeed. Let's see how far up you can get. Yeah, 6 thousandths of a second. And as I say, it would have been Big D we're knocking out as well, who's obviously one of the ones we just assumed is going to get into Q3 kind of thing. Yeah, that toe was useless, Bosjan. Terrible toe. That's what you got to do, Grits. You got to blame your teammate. Terrible toe. See, now, can I just see, Greza? That's where it works in opposite. See, I didn't curse Gritas with a spin. If you go up the chat, he says further up, no, hopefully no spins for me tonight, so he's cursed himself. He did it to himself. It's not always me that does it. Right, who's that? That is one of our new guys. It's Coys. Like I said once more, I know it's come on you Spurs, but I can't bring myself to say that. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm a Newcastle fan, but always had something about Spurs. I don't know. I've never. I think it's because one of my mates when I was young was a Spurs fan, and we used to have quite a. Back then, Spurs and Newcastle were pretty even. Many years now, Spurs have been on top, but it's all changing now, of course, between the two clubs. I mean. So, I have to say, it looks even darker and dingier. I'm not expecting rain, but and where it looks wet there, by the way, is a heat haze. That's not actual. It's not where it's actually wet at all. It's just a heat haze. But yeah, it's definitely very dark. I don't think I'd be 100% confident that it's going to stay dry. Wonderful if it did, but no, go on board, look. Anyway, we're going to bump up now to the hilly hot lap. So we're going to do it for one of our new guys, Coys, as we have DRS open, heading up to turn 1, down to 5th usually for turn 1. Some use 4th. Careful on the exit through turn 2. Can be a bit slippy through there, but it's also exceptionally important to your lap time. Down to turn 3. Be careful not to invalidate on the inside curve. Turn 4. Keep it nice and tight. Opens up the entry to turn 5. Very careful through 6 and 7 now. Really, really slippery. And then we head on to the straight. Pick up the DRS. Head down to this chicane, which has been left right in the middle of the straight, separating the two straights really. Getting a bit of lag on my screen, so might be a suggestion there that you need to turn the Wi-Fi off. So onto the second part of the straight, nicely done through the chicane there from Coys. Onto the second part of the straight, this flat out right-hander can become a little bit of a nuisance in the wet. We've got to lift slightly, and now into my favourite corner of the season, this double apex right-hander. Again, like so many of the corners here, so important to get on the power well on the exit. Late apex on the left-handers, just leads around to this flat-out right. It leads into this very late break-in. Late apex again, left-hander. And a final corner. Don't really use the curb on the inside. You saw Coys went close but didn't touch it. Don't really want to be touching it. And open up DRS, head for the line. And that's a 32.9 from Coys on the hilly hot lap. Well done, Coys. Did what most people can't and actually got the lap done. Most people normally manage to invalidate when I'm doing a hilly hot lap with them, so well done. Zombie, our other new guy tonight, who I know was really looking forward to driving tonight, so I'm really glad he got a seat for the evening. Manages a 31.3 already, so he's edging towards those 30s. Definitely going to be interesting, I think, to see just how fast he can go by the end of all this. Is he going to be up there fighting maybe the likes of Greza, Kamarov and Master Spread and the like? Hey, tell your friend to come and watch my stream, not yours. Alright, almost completed his lap, my apologies. Let's go down to someone who hasn't. Line's invalidated. Spriggs. Looks like we can watch this one. Mr. Well hasn't said anything since I told him not to look at me like that, which means I'm probably in the doghouse with him. So, there you go. Thanks, Dad. It's quite okay for him to watch your stream. You don't have to watch mine. Right, Spriggs. Just going through the final sector to finish off the lap. Been in exceptional form recently at Spriggs. He's certainly someone that since joining has shown that he can mix it up with the top trio. I guess they're a quad now rather than a trio. 31.7 puts him into P2. Has completed his lap, so only one on a hot lap. I was going to say it was operated, but he invalidated and is into the pits. Whoever that is behind him in the Alpha Tauri's also into the pits. So I don't think anybody's on a hot lap right now. Who will be next then? Dark Mark by the looks of things. Not often in either Q1 or Q2 that you get a little break like this where there's nobody on a hot lap. Generally, usually, pretty... sort of non-stop. Am I safe, says Greza, where are you? P3, 31.7. I think you probably are. A thousandth of a second ahead of Davis, look. How unbelievable is that? Yeah, I think you probably are, Greza. There was a group of 7 drivers that were very close in Q1, but were at a decent gap. But, you know, don't retire out and then blame me later on, so... Yeah, Gritas is pretty normal for a stream, buddy, to be fair. I usually have fun watching the stream while I'm racing. I'm usually quite a bit ahead of it in my game. Was a good lap from a newbie, says Zibanu. So, Zibanu, are you zombie? Yeah, alright. That was when I was on the terrible internet. Now I'm just on the pretty bad internet. One of these days I'll have good internet. You never know. Not anytime soon I won't. By the time I get good internet, it would have all gotten upgraded, so it'd be bad internet again in a way, so... Oh, you're not? Okay. So, no, you're right, you are right though, Sibanu, that was a very good lap from Zombie. So, let's say it's... I don't know why, well... It's actually, genuinely, I don't know why, but the top guys, for whatever reason, do tend to hold back a bit through Q1 and Q2. Now, I say this, I do it myself when I'm racing. I do it myself. I don't know why I do it, but I do it. I always make sure I got a good 4 or 5 attempts in me for the final session, unless I'm struggling to get through, of course, then you ain't got no choice. But which I must admit is happening a bit more often these days than it used to. Ah, that's awesome, Taz. I wish mine could. Oh, you're one of his friends. Excellent. Okay. That's cool. Do you know where the name comes from? Why he calls himself Zombie? Please don't tell me he is a zombie. It's early in the night, I'll be scared. White Lion. Heads to the line. 31.6. Goes into P2. Tell you what, Greza, that's looking a little bit less likely now, actually. I know it's only one other driver that's gone ahead of you, but sitting P5 and just looking at the next 3 drivers behind you can all clearly improve ahead of you very easily. And Big D certainly could, and one's, well, Boshan's just gone up into P4 as well. So, Greza, I take it back. I don't think you can sit on your laurels there. You might end up being safe, but I don't think I'd be too happy to just sit in the pits on that one. So, sorry guys, I'm just going to have to leave you for a moment. I'll be back as soon as I can, but something's just come up at home, so I'm just going to have to leave you. I'm just going to mute myself. Alright guys, apologies about that. Right now. Right, okay. Coins has just gone fastest on a 31-0. That's come from absolutely nowhere, so somebody was sandbagging. Oh my goodness me, Grezza, what have you done sticking these two together in a team? The two new guys are fast. That's hilarious. Thank you, Taz. Right, so okay, so I see. I don't know. Yeah, unfortunately, Zilanyu, I still don't know how to say that, but perhaps I'll see if I can look it up in time for next week. Yeah, Levant is a city. Yes, it is. There we go. Anyway, we'll be on here in Grezza at the moment. We've gone up to P1, so we're safe now, 30.8. So that's our first 130 of the evening. Let's get down where we need to be. So the man currently in P10 is Dark Mark, and he is out. Sorry, I don't mean out as in at qualifying, but he's finished in this session. Here comes Big D and goes into P4. So Big D suddenly throws his hat in the ring up there, and that knocks Dark Mark out. think his first exit before Q3 of the season. And Atkins is into the pits. Robbo's heading for the line. The irony here is if Robbo gets through, he knocks out Davis. And he does get through. So out goes Davis. Although Davis, sorry, my apologies, he is still out there. So it's unbelievably, it's Spriggs who's in danger. Going on the form from the first few races of the season, this will be a huge upset. So through go to both AlphaTauris and out goes Spriggs. And that is it. That is everybody completed. Atkins just finishing being pushed into the garage. The one of Merckx just arrived to get pushed in as well, but they've already retired, I think. So there we go. So take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. So Greza through as P1, but ignore him. Let's go down to the guys here. Look, we're going to lose Spriggs, Dartmark, Dart Lord, Atkins, and Operator from Q2. Spriggs and Dartmark are real surprises. Atkins as well. But in a way, Boshan scrapes through in the end on a 31.6. But look how tight this is. Unbelievable. And what a top 10 for starters. Just 8.5 tenths off the leader. 6 tenths off of P2. But the gaps here, look. Even Spreader was pretty close to being knocked out then. I know, Boshan, yeah, that was a shock. And that man, Coys, Coy Spurs or whatever, I'm not going to keep saying that, I'm telling you. Coys was really sandbagging previous to that. Oh, Dartmouth, everybody says they hate France. There's nothing wrong with France. France is a great track. Remember the scoring system changed this year, Taz, so you just need to finish to get points. So it's not all about making the top 10 this season. It's important to make sure you bring the car home now with the way the point system is now. And it's so much better. It's so much better like it is than the real life point system. Real life point system works in real life for what it does, but for online racing, the point system where everybody who finishes scores points is definitely better. Well, there's certainly a chance here on you. There's still other drivers that haven't done their absolute flat-out best yet, so it's going to be... I think this is going to be an extremely tight qualifying, going by what we've seen so far. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Dartmark, but you're not alone. There are so many drivers hate this track, and I honestly don't know why myself. I love it. It brings up all the different challenges you could possibly ask for. It's plenty of runoff areas, so you don't tend to get loads of safety cars. So I like it, and then, you know, I'd say probably 1 in every 4 races tends to be wet, so get that challenge side of it as well. But yeah, it's certainly it's a personal thing, as you say. It's a different each to their own sort of thing. Shaz, welcome. Nice to hear from you. And yeah, I think you're probably right. I am expecting probably mid 30s for pole. With how tight I think this is going to be, there is a chance it could get to low 30s just because they kind of force each other into it. But I think realistically, one mid 30s. Last year's pole position here was a 130.8, which Grez has already hit. So kind of hoping we'll get a bit quicker. So anyway, we'll leave Cammy. Let's go to the other camera. I think I always prefer using this camera really for qualifying, so you can really see the... Yeah, so 30.5 or somewhere close. Who? Yeah, Greza got pole last season. You're absolutely... I had some fun earlier on, actually, guys. I was doing my first ever laps, turning ABS off. Oh, goodness me. I actually won 18.5 around Spain. My TT there is 17.2 at the moment, although my actual PB is a 17.0. But considering I literally did about 15 laps, if that, probably below closer to 10 laps. I thought that was alright, an 18.5. First time ever not using ABS. My goodness, is that hard. Anyway, a 31.2 from Cammy gets us underway in the session. Zombie immediately goes 31.1. Here is Koi's, and that's a 32.3, so back to a slower time. Maybe use an old set of tyres to start off with in the session. Spreader heads to the line, 131.1 goes fastest. Boshan was a 31.2. So Red Bull crossing the line, that's White Lion, 31.1. This is so tight. Oh, sorry, there's an AlphaTauri I'm trying to get to. Davis coming around the final corner. .32.0 goes P6. Fries into the pits. It's Reza, but he's invalidated. But going round again, so we'll stick with him because see everybody else will be on their in lap, so we'll stick with him here. But on the first run, none of the people that, or none of the drivers that have completed laps have broken into the 130s like Greza did at the end of the last session. Oh, this lap's invalidated for Greza as well, so it's going to feel like a long trip right back round to the pits now for him. And unfortunately, that does leave us with nobody on a hot lap. So, effectively the first half of Q3 over, and we're going to have most likely a wild sprint at the end, where they're all coming over together, one after the other. Big D, swearing in French on my stream does not count as not swearing. Oh dear. Well, it's what life's come to on a Friday night. Look, we're watching Greza drive round to the pits. I've gone up in the world. Anyway, is anybody gonna go a little bit earlier for us so that we ain't got to spend 3 minutes looking at nothing? Or has anybody got an extra set of tyres they could maybe have a go with? Anybody? Please? What about one of you guys that didn't set a time? Are you maybe gonna go in between sort of thing? I think I'm falling on deaf ears here, guys. We're just gonna get to look at the pits for a while. That sounds like an engine. That sounds like that. It looks like a McLaren to me. I think it's Boshan. Taking his time getting down the pit lane. That's one thing with here, you know, when it comes to the race, it's such a slow pit lane here. It's not a particularly long pit lane. It's just so slow, and it's does mean that a pit stop here is actually considerably longer than you think it is. And sure, we'll see that in the race. It does mean that I don't really suggest, unless it's because of safety car, I wouldn't really suggest that we're likely to see 2 stops tonight. Have seen them before here at France, so it's not impossible, but me personally, I just think that the length for the pit stop is too much. So usually simple medium to hard, hard to medium. You could do a soft to hard as well, or vice versa. But it should be a one stop tonight in terms of strategy. Ooh, Shaz, good question. Who's sticking it on pole? Well, from what we've seen so far, it's going to be so tight to call, but and the top five at the moment are separated by exactly 1/10. But I think if he gets a proper clear lap in, no mistakes, then I think Grez's favourite for me. But the fact that he didn't get a lap in on his first attempt makes it a bit harder, I think, puts the pressure on a bit more. Here we go, in a way on the roller coaster of France. Boschian. Always, I'm just going to take my phone back off the Wi-Fi again, it's just lagging a bit more again. So, Bertas is sticking by his teammate, he's going to support his teammate right the way through. Which is, of course, the right thing to do. Oh! Stake from Boschian, tries to correct it but ends up spun and into the wall. But not retired, but into the wall. Just looking at the time. Fortunately, I don't think, not by the time you take into account. As I said, it's a slow pit lane, which means it takes even longer to get in and into your garage and out again. So I think that is the final run there for Boschian, unfortunately. Move to the Aston Martin, of course. Comes up towards the end of sector 2 and is nicely up, nearly 6/10. Putting around on 31.7, just gaining the one place as it stands. Actually, we don't know where he lost his time on his first run exactly, so good example there of how to take that corner. Late apex. Yeah, it's so important. You must keep it to the left-hand side on that corner to really open up the final corner. That's where you're going to gain the time, even if you lose a little bit on the penultimate corner. And into the 130s then. So Coys goes fastest, 130.897. That puts the pressure on. Cammy heads to the line. He's actually going on to a hot lap. So further around. That's Coys. So I don't think anybody else is ahead of us. I might be wrong, but don't think anybody's ahead of us on track. Oh, my apologies. Greza was, and it's a 30.7 from Greza, who goes provisional pole. He beats his pole time of last year, so will it be good enough? Gonna find out. This man we're on with at the moment has been the most in form in qualifying, and he is improving. He is on a predicted time here that would put him into the 130s. And through the final corner then. Again, see him, don't touch the inside curve, just goes very close to it but doesn't touch it. And across the line goes pole. Oh, 30.6. Big D heads to the line, goes P4. So it's all going to happen very, very quickly. Here comes Davis, 31.4. That puts him, well, unbelievably, that leaves him in P10. That's a shocker. Zombie heads to the line, 30.9, goes P4. The two Aston Martins on a great performance. P3 and 4 as it stands. Spreader P7. And the Red Bull of White Lion He was improving. 30.7 goes P3. Wow. Wow, was that close? My goodness me. But it is Kamarov who again takes pole, showing his dominance in qualifying again. But I think he's going to say, well, if I do speak to him after race, I'm sure he'll speak about this because my goodness, has this gotten tight? It's a reasonably long lap these days. A 1:30 is a pretty long lap these days. So um, it's incredible that all 10 drivers covered by 8.5 temps. 6 temps covers the top 9, but top top 7 by 4 temps pretty much. Top 6 by 4 temps. But in the end, Kamarov takes pole from Greza, White Lion P3, Koi's P4, Zombie P5. A great start from the new guys, 4th and 5th, next to each other on grid as teammates as well. Superb. Um, yeah, Boshanos. Yeah, that's sort of what I was trying to get across. Um, it's definitely increased, isn't it? The pace, without a doubt. So, which is good. It is good, but all through the field, throughout qualifying, there it's been really tight. In each of the first 2 sessions as well. That sort of on the bit for getting knocked out. It was so tight around those areas as well, which is what we want to see and what makes it good for us watching, and hopefully makes it exciting for you guys racing as well. So anyway, guys, for you guys watching, well, and the drivers, we take a break now, usually about 5 minutes. So Greza would usually tell you when it's time to go. So please watch in the Discord for instructions. Do not, I repeat, do not ready up until told. So you've got a little bit of a break, so perhaps grab yourself a drink next to Lou, whatever you got to do. I'm certainly going to grab a drink, so I will see you in just a moment with a fresh coffee. See you in a bit. Okay, guys, I'm back. What have we got here? Shaz, that's terrible advice. Gritas. I've got a plan, but it requires me gaining loads of positions. So it's the same as everybody else's plan then. Start on starting calls, Carnage. Come on, Shaz. Um, it's a difficult one from where you are, Taz. I'd usually, if I'm a bit further down than I perhaps expected to, um, I would probably move to using the hards, but the problem around here, well, yeah, the problem around here is if you get an early safety car and you're on the hards to start, you can't go to the mediums, whereas everybody on the mediums goes to hards, and then you've still got a pit. And as I said, it's a pretty long pit stop here, so yeah, it's a difficult one around here. Definitely the hard to the medium is the best strategy around here. But as I said, there's a risk of an early safety car causing you problems. So, yeah, Zombie just lost 2.5 temps in the last sector, so it was right on it. But it's great news. The two new guys really showing superb pace. And so there's a couple of guys that went out early on that would usually be further up there as well. So this is yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing on PRF1 at the moment. I'm enjoying the races and the pace is fantastic. The a league doesn't have to be the fastest league in the world for it to be a fantastic league. It just needs to be competitive. So um, PRF1 is plenty quick enough. It's not certain. It's not even close to being a slow league. It's very very quick. Um, in terms of most leagues, I think. In a way, personally, I think it is in a way. But it's, as I say, it's competitive. It's close. There's different ways of looking at it because I think you have to have the drivers being close to create the competitiveness to create that. But I think you still need a decent. You kind of need to get a balance. You need a decent spread from first to last. There has to be ways for gaps to be created. If everybody's driving next to each other all the time, there's going to be accidents. There's going to be 5 safety cars every race. So, you know, it's got to be. You've got to have the all the different paces. But as long as everybody's got somebody they can fight with and sort of call their little rival, if you like, then it's good. And so I've been loving the races recently here. I'm doing well. I do commentary on 4 leagues at the moment. Well, 5 leagues, four leagues, and I do a kids commentary each week as well. And 3 of the leagues that I commentate on are just superb at the moment. Absolutely love every single one of them. As Robbo has lost connection by the looks of it, and this being one of them. So this WAOF1 and HRF1, absolutely superb at the moment. The other league I do is WRL. It's going through a bit of trouble at the moment, but it's always been a superb league, and it will get back there. It's the boss man there, Bob Dylan, will sort it out. Why can't I spot where? Oh, there he is. It says he's in there. But, I'll invite him in away just in case. So anyway, let's get the tyres up then and see what people are doing. Ooh, look at that, the top 7, all on hards. So, as I said, it's the best strategy. It is the best strategy. It's the quickest strategy around here. Without a doubt, it's the quickest. But as I said, if you get that wrongly timed safety car early in the race and the medium drivers can pit to hards. Oh, definitely not, Shaz. No, you don't want any safety cars for hards to work. Unless you mean, like, if one comes out, then you're in trouble, but if a second comes out, then it will sort itself out, sort of thing. Then you're okay, yeah. But, to say, France, as far as I'm aware, I think France is the lowest safety car risk of the season. Thinking through, I can't think of another one as low as France. It's mainly, as I say, because of the runoff areas. But as seems to be with all the races these days, turn 1. Well, actually, let me say that differently, as White Lion has a little spin round. yeah, turn one, as I say, with all tracks at the moment, seems to be a problem this year. But here at France, it's not just turn one; it's sector one, which is the problem. It's so tight through the whole of the first sector. Oh, I see what you mean, Shaz. Okay, yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's each to their own on that sort of stuff. Anyway, out the lights go, and away we go. And where's Spreader going to get up to? He's up to third. Can you believe this? This guy is insane. So we're going through turns 1 and 2. Looks like it looks like everybody's gotten through absolutely fine through the first few corners. Red Bull running slightly wide there. Can you believe the start from Spreader? He's up to P3. Guy is ridiculous off the line. He's up 5 places off the start. And there's all sorts of changes, and that is an Aston Martin, I think it was, round. Yeah, that was Coy's, unfortunately, has spun it. And so much going on, I can't really keep up with it because they keep changing positions on my screen. Well, Spreader's up to P2 now. He's absolutely flying. What a start. I think this might be the best start I've ever seen, quite honestly. He's right on the back of Kamarov. Up 6 places from P8 to second, and he has put in all sorts of pressure on the leader. This man is just relentless off the line. He does it every single week. I'll never know how. So, is this one? There's quite a few battles actually that are extremely tight. I'm just going to nip down to one that is literally side by side, which is Taz and Atkins. So it looks like Taz got the better exit out the final corner, and he's P11. Also a good start then from Taz, up 5 places. And back to the leaders we go, and that's Big D. So it's turn 1, turn 2. As Robbo leaves the session again. What's happening to Robbo? I didn't think we had any disconnects in qualifying, and now all of a sudden Robbo's disconnected on the formation lap and he's having some issues. Yes, Shaz, he is on mediums compared to everybody else being on hards. I know that does make a difference, but still. He absolutely flew from 8th to 3rd so fast. It was absolutely ridiculous. Now, I don't know how much truth there is in it, but I did get told recently that the actual person running the lobby gets an advantage on the start, off the start line, because the lights go out first for them. I don't know how true that is. That could be an absolute load of rubbish. But somebody did tell me that recently, and I just thought, oh, all right, okay, I didn't know that. But in my head, I was thinking, yeah, right, that's got to be tosh, that has. Anyway, it is Kamarov leading. They look like they're settling down a little bit into a rhythm here, and Kamarov leads from Master Spread, from Greza in P3. Zombie has made up a place from the start and is P4. White Lion P5, down 2 places. Spriggs is up 5. So we may have lost him in Q2, but he's absolutely on it. And our biggest gainer off the start is Spreader, joint actually with 2 others, with Taz and Shrek, who have both made up 6 places as well. Coy's, unfortunately, with that spin, dropped 13, and Big D as well. So the 2 spinners down the most, as you would expect. Like it was a move there, was it? No, nothing's happened. Maybe Atkins here with Taz. They're side by side again. This time, though, it's for P10, and Taz has ended up round. I think there may have been a little bit of contact. I'm not sure. Taz knows. Just if there was contact, he just needs to clip it. But luckily he's managed to recover it still on the back of the field, so he is still very much in this. So, everybody's so close at the moment. Whoever I go on to try and give us the best chance of an overtake is going to end up being wrong, because they're all so close it could be any of them. In fact, if you look down the order right now, only two gaps of over a second in the whole field. Well, there's three now. One just went over a second, but now Shrek is getting alongside Atkins, but it's kind of got boxed in on the outside there, and Robbo got ahead of Shrek, but I think he just went wide, and there's contact this time. And that looked to me like Shrek was running out of room on the outside of the track. I don't think he really had anywhere else to go. And so contact was made between him and Robbo. I'm not sure there was anybody to blame there as such, but sometimes things just happen. Look at these guys fighting. This is ridiculous how much we got going on all at the same time. So I'll try and keep up with as much of it as I can, guys, but it's so difficult when they're all fighting like this. So Big D goes through, followed by Coys as well, and those two you kind of are going to expect them to make their way up through the field a little bit, because we've got a set to free spinner. I think it's Dre. It is Dre. That's enabled Taz to move up a place, and Robbo as well, as they look to... Well, Taz is already back into this and in amongst it, and Robbo will also look to do the same. Goomba is in, so this is an early stop. Is this for damage? I'll come back to him in just a second. Makes the difference whether is this for damage, or is this because it was so tight in the field that you wanted to get out of it and get into clean air. Wouldn't be shots, but no, it is a change for a new front wing. Sometimes it can work if you do that sort of thing, so you're stuck in a group of cars that are all fighting each other. It's a bit dangerous, it's a bit slow because they're fighting each other, so sometimes your best bet is to get yourself out of that situation, put on the set of hards to go to the end, and just you gain time by driving in the clean air. So unfortunately though for Goomba, he's made a mistake in turn 2 as he's come out of the pits. So has recovered it and is now on his way. Go down to Coys and Big D, who are side by side, and Coys up the inside. So I think that is an overtake. I think Coys had gotten ahead, then Big D came back at him, and now Coys does get ahead for the position. Both very quick drivers that are... I would very much expect them to make their way through the field to an extent. It's never going to be easy. But with how close everything is at the moment, timing your pit stop to perfection could see you gain some places here. Could be extremely important. So we move back up the field a bit. Look at the train is still P1 to P8 are still all in a train, one after the other. And just about in the background there, see Dark Lord, who's not far off them. He's only 1.8 seconds behind them. And we're going to see a move now. Looked like somebody was going side by side into the chicane, but I think they've backed off. This is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. This spreader is getting extremely close, as you can see there, to Kamarov. And Tas picks up a time penalty. Goomba's got one as well. It'd always be a bit troublesome for Spreader here. He's kind of happens. You can get very close to the car ahead, but it's the final corner is one of those that you always seem to pull away a little bit when you come out of the final corner. And the same thing happens going into the DRS zone on the long straight as well. Always seem to just pull away slightly. So even though you've got good DRS zones here, you can still struggle to overtake. See, again there, Komarov just pulls out that little bit more. Very, very hard for Master Spread. Makes up a couple of attempts with DRS, but nowhere near close enough for an overtake at that point. So Shrek makes up a position and is now up into P11. Just going to go a little bit down. It's Bosjan and Davis getting all up in it. Davis will now have the inside for the left-hander. As long as he holds the apex, there's not going to be any way for Bosjan to get through there. And same for here. Effectively, in a way, what Bosjan's doing here is he's putting pressure on Davis, and in a way, he's kind of hoping that that's going to slow Davis down slightly in a way, and that Davis, in turn, maybe drops off the DRS range of the car ahead of him. That makes him vulnerable then for Bosjan to get past, but it's not worked, and Davis actually closed the gap slightly in the end. So I was looking about, trying to find little battles for us, and I thought something was developing there, but Poise has just gotten a bit further ahead again. Well, lap 8 of a 27 lap race. We're coming up to the 1/3 distance at the end of the next lap, and still the top 8 all remain within 1 second of each other. And this time Bosjan goes to the inside. He's going to have the inside of the next 2 corners. You would think he's going to appear here in front, and he does indeed. So Bosjan up into P7. Gets ahead of the AlphaTauri of Davis. Next on his list will be White Lion. So every one of these drivers are going to be very, very difficult to overtake. So I think that was a reward there for Bosjan of just relentlessness, knocking on the door continuously until the opportunity finally arose, and Spriggs there gets ahead of Zombie for P4. What a race Spriggs is having. My apologies, I missed the fact that Greza had gotten ahead of Spreader P2. Could be a sign actually that the mediums are beginning to drop off a little bit. It might just be that Spreader made it at a little moment or something out of a corner, but it could be a sign that the mediums are starting to wear. They're completed 8 laps on them, or half a lap round as well, so 8.5 laps on what would probably be around about a 12 lap stint. You're looking at sort of 11, 12, 13 laps. Yeah, it is Shaz, isn't it? It's unreal. That's what I was saying about a league don't have to be the fastest. If you know, it's an exceptionally fast league, it's PRF1, but it's obviously not the fastest because the esports are the fastest. But you know what I mean. It's as long as the drivers are the right drivers to be fighting each other. The yellow flag, by the way, has been caused by, unfortunately, Gumba having another spin in exactly the same place as he did last time, actually, coming out of turn 2. It's a pretty common place for a spin. It does happen there. And just to say that Spreader has just dropped out of the 1 second to Greza. And this for me has to be something to do with those medium tyres. going on his car. Didn't he have a bit of trouble with wear last week? Didn't he? Just trying to think back to last week. I think he had a bit of trouble with his tyres going off quicker than the rest. One thing I will mention, actually, in another league that I'm in, well, the one that my name has, Arc, the guy that owns Arc raced last night in our realistic tier in Arc, and ended up retiring because his tyres just would not gain any temperature, and he was driving around with 2 tyres on 30 odd degrees and the other 2 on 60 or 70 or something like that. And he just could not drive, which you wouldn't be able to do with tyres at that temperature. So I'm hoping it was just a silly thing on the night and it's not a new glitch in the game, because that would be a horrendous glitch. Anybody that happens to is just had their night ruined every time, so we don't want that. Yeah. So, though, it was mentioned last week, somebody was just sat in as Davis pits, so he's the first in for a scheduled pit stop, and this could be important. Obviously, it's never easy to make an undercut work when you're going on to the hard tyres, because they really do take some heating up, but if you can heat them up well enough, it's a nice long track. The undercut could be huge here, especially if 3 or 4 of these come in at the same time. So Davis, he's come out, believe it or not, he's come out in 14th. So it's actually good news for Davis. He's come out in a really nice bit of clean air. He's got 6 seconds ahead of him to drive into, which is superb news, as White Lion and Bosjan battle for P6. Again, very similar to the move on Davis. Bosjan now has the inside of the quick right-hander, and he'll have the inside of the next one too, but has it done before reaching the second one. And up into P6 he goes, gradually making his way up and through the field. It's brilliant from Bosjan. He's driving brilliantly, isn't he, tonight? It's very impressive. And in come Spriggs and Spreader. Spriggs and Spreader. I don't know why, but that's made me laugh. It sort of sounds like a spread, to be honest with you. Spriggs and Spreader. There's lots of pit stops going on. Now, where is Davis? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? He's coming out the final corner now. Where are they? I think Spriggs has just come out. Davis is going to come out just behind Spreader. So I'm not exactly sure what that means. I'm not exactly sure where he's really come out. Well, it's got to be good news. He's right on the back of the man who was P3, and he's pitted from P8. So, and he's already got his tyres heated up. Spreader's got to get him up to temperature yet. So he could potentially, Spreader could be in trouble here from Davis, depending on how quick he can get his tyres up to temperature. It actually looks like Spriggs is having an even harder time getting his up to temperature as Spreader gets very close to him. Now, obviously, difference being that these guys started on the mediums. All the other top guys started on the hards. Well, apart from Bosjan, who has just entered the pit lane now. So he's coming in from P6. Well, P3, but I'm thinking previous to all the pit stops, I think he was P6 in the end. And onto the hards. So just looking down. I think Bosjan's got them, you know. I think he's got them. It's going to be tight. gonna cut. Look at this. He's coming. Oh my word! And that is Davis. Oh, Bosch. Oh, he's spun it. He's, I think in hindsight he may look at that and think maybe I should have given that up, to be quite honest, because obviously his tyres would be very cold coming out the pits. But it didn't look to me. I mean, my screen was lagging about slightly, so it's hard for me to say. But it didn't look like to me like that was a contact that caused that. It looked like it was a spin. But only Bosch and Davis could tell us that. But pit stops are definitely throwing things up a bit. I'm going to take my phone back off the Wi-Fi again because it's definitely causing some lag on my side. So guys, just when I take it off the Wi-Fi, it goes onto the network and usually runs alright for a bit, and then it just keeps stopping the stream and starting it again. So on my side, so Spriggs, this is Stody Kaka, by the way. I've got a. I suppose I've got to get used to calling him Scott instead, but that might take me a few weeks. Scott's. Well, it looks to me like in the end he actually opted to get out of the way. I guess he knows really he's a pit stop down on these guys, so maybe getting out of the way was the more sensible option there. And that spinner is Goomba again. Now, he's just got to be careful. He's got his teammate who's leading the race is getting pretty close. You don't want to fall a lap down, Goomba, but at the same time, of course, he's already pitted, so presumably he's going to drive right the way through to the end because he pitted, I think it was on lap 5. So presumably he's going through to the end, whereas the guys that are getting close to lapping him are still got a pit. So at the guys that have pitted so far, Spriggs is the top of them. He's currently running P7. He's got Big D 5 seconds up the road. So other than that, Dark Mark ahead of him. No. So I definitely expect Spriggs and Spreader to take the lead of this race in P1 and P2. The problem being, of course, that then Kamarov and Greza are going to have fresh medium tyres and they're going to be exceptionally quick. So pit stops have lent themselves to just separating the field slightly, haven't they? But it's giving us a bit of a breather. But it's interesting though, isn't it? It's interesting how it's all going to sort of play out. The problem for Cami and Greza that I can maybe foresee a little bit is if Spriggs and Spreader stay pretty close to each other, and effectively they're getting DRS off of each other, it could make it extremely difficult for Cami and Greza to re-overtake them later in the race, presuming that they have to, which it's exactly what I'm expecting them to have to do. Gap at the moment between Cami and Spriggs is about 23 seconds. So I'm not exactly sure how long the pit stop is here, but it is pretty long, and so I think that's probably still within range. I think that is pretty much on the nose, though. We're about to find out. In fact, we're about to find out because in comes Kamarov from the lead of the race. Greza has continued through. Greza's going for the overcut. And, oh, Zombie! Why is he retired? Why on earth is he retired? He's retired in the pit lane. I don't understand that. That's... Why is he retired in the pit lane on his debut when he's having such a good race? Well, I mean, that ain't going to go down well. Let me say that that is not going to go down well. Shocked me. For somebody that was really looking forward to this race so much, that has shocked me. In a way. Okay, well, here comes Cammy. So Cammy did get out of the pits ahead of Spriggs and Spreader, amazingly. So, not quite sure how he's managed to do that, but he has. And he immediately gets back past Big D. And obviously Grez is going to react now immediately to Kamarov. I think Kamarov go through. We'll ride with Kamarov here. But I think he will go through. Let's keep an eye. Right, Grez has been serviced. And excuse my choice of words. And Kamarov is just coming through the final corner. Now, you'd think, from when we saw Grez in and out, that he can get out easily, but he won't. He's going to lose. It's out to Cammy here. There goes Cammy. With his tyres up to temperature, he's going to be able to extend more than a second lead, which is going to make it extremely hard for Grez to come back at him, but still going to make for exceptional viewing. Okay, Zimino, I mean, yeah, well, but I'm just a commentator. I'm not an admin. I'm not. Well, I do kind of work like an admin sometimes, but I'm not technically an admin, so I won't get involved in any of that. But yeah, I would like to see us finish the racing with the penalties. You just got to keep going. Never mind. Never mind. Certainly showed his pace and his ability to drive with people and all that. So certainly no problems in that sense. So we all live and learn. There we go. Here's White Lion going around the, or trying to go around the outside of Master Spread. Master Spread says, not a chance, pal. Not a chance am I letting you through. And White Lion as well. What a race he's having. But I don't think Spreader's going to get a choice here, quite frankly. And that is Big D heading into the pits for his one and only stop. You're seeing it now, aren't you? That this is why I said earlier on that the hard to medium strategy is the best strategy around here. So you're seeing the reason for that now. But as I said, it would have only taken a safety car in the first sort of 5, 6, 7 laps, and that would be the complete opposite way around. So if you do go hards first, and it seems to be that it's a pretty preferred strategy around most tracks now to start on the hards, and if you do go with that strategy, you do have to trust a bit to luck for there not to be an early safety car. So but as Shaz said in the chat there, that if there is an early safety car, you got to kind of hope there's a second after that, otherwise you have kind of had it, really. So let's go to Boshan here. He's close to the back of Davis. So not quite sure how that happened. Just thinking back, I think Boshan. Oh no, he had a spin, didn't he? Of course he did. Yeah, so he's caught back up to Davis now. But yeah, Zib on you. If you speak to him, if you could pass on to him that his qualifying was brilliant, and his racecraft ability to drive with people, with other drivers, was perfectly fine. So very good, in fact. So he just keeps a check on emotions then, I think he'd be a great addition to the league, quite frankly. So, yeah, just hope you don't feel too bad about it, but Spriggs. Sorry, that's White Lion getting back past Spriggs. So White Lion moves into a podium position. He does have a penalty now. So those of you that watch most weeks will know. We'll look at the penalties a bit later towards the end of the race. But see, as it stands right now, that would promote Spriggs back into a podium position. But plenty of time left for that to change. So stick with it. There probably will be a little bit towards the end where the guys on the hards. I don't know whether they'll ever get an advantage as such, but we should get to a point where they're sort of on a level pegging. But it probably only be for the last sort of 2 or 3 laps. So, I'm afraid they've got quite a storm to weather first, while these mediums are, well, they're flying right now. And unbelievably, from having one of the most closest races I've ever seen for the whole of the first half of this race. It's really separated out now. I think these 3. So this is Boshan, Davis. Sorry, it's just the 2 of them. I thought there was 3 of them. But these 2 are giving us a bit of a race at the moment. Taz and Robbo, actually. Let's go down to that one. So this is for P14. But as I say, don't forget, everybody scores points if they finish. So Robbo had a little bit of a lock up there. If you watched me having my first attempt at driving without ABS earlier on, that was what I was doing pretty much every corner. Nice massive lock up. I find it very difficult. Still pretty confident this is going to lend ourselves to best chance of a battle as Greza is fighting to get back within touching distance of Kamarov. He puts in the fastest lap of the race. And we've got Coy's coming in for a second stop. Say, not something you see too much of around France. You did last year's game, didn't you? If you remember on 2021, I mean, France was one of the very, very few tracks where you'd probably see hards in last year's game. But there was a lot of people in last year's game did not like using hards under any circumstances. So you did see 2 stops around here in last year's game. Because the soft medium was not a fast strategy. So, gotta give it to Taz here. He's up against a guy here who's on 4-lap mediums. Quick driver as well. Taz is doing his best to defend this at the moment, and he's making a good fist of it, to be fair to him. He's held him off for longer than I would have expected him to be able to already, to be honest, so no, it just almost looks a little bit like Robbo's not enjoying those medium tyres right now. So Goomba decides to take an extra stop, and I think he was coming up. I think he had the leaders coming back up to the back of him, so I think he's opted to take an extra stop and go to softs, and perhaps just enjoy the rest of the race on the fresh soft tyres. As Robbo does get past Taz then for P13 in the end, but fair play to Taz. He fought him off there for longer than I think I could have, so fair play to him. Greza, by the way, has gotten within the second of Kamarov, so is that 1 lap going to make a difference in this race, that his tyres are younger? be honest, when Kamarov came round and passed Greza as Greza was exiting the pits, I kind of thought that was probably the end of the race for the win. So with there only being a 1 lap difference in the tyres, I didn't really expect Greza to be able to get back within the 1 second, but well, what a job he's doing. He looks extremely racy, doesn't he, at the moment? As it goes to the inside there, almost as though he's looking to sort of say, I'm here, and I'm close enough now. Both drivers penalty free. Unfortunately, actually, White Lion has picked up a penalty because he would probably be my driver of the day as it stands right now. Who would you go for as it stands at the moment, Shaz? Who do you think? Because as Coy's sets fastest lap on his fresh mediums, so let me bring up the position changes. That might help a little bit. So, look at Shrek, up 10 places. He has had a great race, hasn't he? What was a very disappointing qualifying for him. Spriggs up 7 as well in P4. Discount the if you're having a look, Chaz. If you're listening, you're having a look for who you think would be driver of the day. Don't look at the ones that got penalties. I don't generally, very very rare that I would give driver of the day to somebody who's got a penalty. So only look at ones that don't have penalties. So I think it's looking like it's a battle between Spriggs and Shrek at the moment. For that. Reza just can't finish off, can he? And I think operators had a little spin there, going on onto the straight. I've retired there before. Hit the curb a bit wrong and spun round. Well, it was in the wet, so I hit the curb a bit wrong in the wet, and it spun me round straight into the barrier. Just here, that was onto the inside barrier. So. Right, let's get the penalties up then. A bit earlier than I usually do it, but if I don't do it now, I'll probably forget in a way. So, right, so as you can see, the penalties for the 2 guys further up are 3 seconds each. So White Lion and Spreader both look like they will be affected by that as Boshan goes for an overtake on Spreader. The outside on the fast right-hander this time, but still comes out ahead and up into P5 for Boshan. And he's certainly had a very good race. I think I'd throw his hat into the ring as well. I think if I had to, well, sometimes the best way of doing it is to sort of think of 3 drivers and then make a decision. As Greza goes for the overtake for the lead into turn 1 and takes the lead of the race off of Kamarov. It's a DRS move into turn 1. Kamarov staying very, very close. He's not giving up on this. As always, it's difficult to follow through those few corners there. So as always, it just drops off a little bit. And Boshan's just picked up a penalty, so that takes him off of the driver of the day list. And Cami's going to get it again. Yeah, Greza doesn't really fight that too much. And yeah, I think there's a little suggestion there. That looks a lot easier for Kamarov than it's looked for Spreader. So at any point, so I think that may give us a little suggestion that Kamarov is probably running a lower wing than Greza is. around here. So, towards the end of lap 25, so it's going to be 2 laps remaining, and well, it's looked so far like Grez's best opportunities are coming on this straight. He's definitely too far back on this occasion. Just to mention that White Line has got the gap to Spriggs now to stay on the podium. So at the moment, as it stands right this second, it is the top 3 on track are the top 3. Penalty for White Lion won't affect that. It just runs out of room. Do you see what I mean, though? That he just doesn't seem to be able to catch Kamarov as well in a straight line as Kamarov was able to catch him. He's got one more lap to do it, and you fancy if he could do the same move again this time as he did last time on the pit straight. You fancy that this time he will defend the inside going up to that chicane. If it turns out he has to. And just notice that, just caught the inside curb, which is a no-no. Goes then. This could be close. Definitely got caught the slipstream this time, and he's going to go at the inside. And again, there's not a lot that Kamarov could do there to defend that. The move is done before they reach the braking zone. But again, I just feel like Kamarov has got... Oh, that was a corner cut. And that must have had the warning available, so he's not... well, neither of them picked up a penalty. So here we go. It's going to be the same scenario. So surely this time Greza will move to the inside. Cammy will surely be forced around the outside this time. He is going to be, but unfortunately for Greza, he's gone. He's gone before they reach the corner. What a battle. What a battle they have given us to finish off this, what has been an absolutely superb race. It really has. This is right up there, one of my favourite races. That's what I keep saying to people, that France really does provide some of the best racing you see all season, in my opinion. I don't know why the drivers don't like this track. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It never fails to entertain. And Kamarov crosses the line and wins in France at Paul Ricard. Greza, brilliant P2. White Lion will cross the line in P3. I think he's going to hold on to it. Yes, he does indeed. Spriggs P4, Bosjan P5, Spreader 6, Davis in 7. Shrek gets promoted up to 7th. Davis P8. Dartmark P9. Atkins for P10. So that's our top 10. Big D comes home in 11th. Dart Lord will cross the line P12, but Coys is promoted due to the penalty, as is Dre. So Coys P12, Dre 13, Dart Lord 14, Robbo 15, Scott, aka Dordy Kaka, in P16. Grotas is going to come round in P17. Gumba's already finished, by the way, in P19. Gritsas on his return will finish the race, and will finish just a 3-second penalty, and will finish P17. So very nice, and operator as well. So just the one retirement from Zombie, which Fortunately, was a retirement in the pits. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had any. But hey, I was first race though, Zombie, and I thought you did a great job, Zombie. Just unfortunately with penalties, buddy. But they things happen, unfortunately. But there we have it. Now the Game Awards driver of the day to Shrek. Now, for Shrek, Shad says Shrek as well, and hello, Junkie. I'm sorry, buddy. I put my phone down. I didn't look. Sorry, I didn't see your message. Yeah, some very, very top quality battles. I thoroughly enjoyed it. What a race. And, yeah. Do you know what, Shads? I wish I could give it to both of them. I really do, because I think they both deserve it. Um, but I think I'm going to go with you, Shads. I think I'm going to give the driver of the day to Shrek, but with a gigantic shout out to Spriggs as well, and the top two. Don't forget the top two, of course. But there we have it. So there are our positions. The fastest lap, by the way, went to Coys. With the point system, I assume he does get that. If it's top 10, I'm not sure. I'll have to double check this with. Perhaps I could double check it with him in the podium interview in a second. If it is top 10, then Grezza gets the fastest lap, but only just actually from Big D. Look, very, very tight. But if not, then it is Coys who gets that, and I'll just quickly scroll through them. Scroll through the incidents on the race director, and not too many really for a 50% race, and almost, well, in fact, all of them, I think. There's a couple of 5-second penalties in there, but otherwise I think it's all warnings for corner cutting and that. So there we have it. Let's get... I'm not quite going to get this done, am I? Right, so, invite to party. Let's get Cammy in. Oh. Cammy, Grezza. And White Lion. Come on, White Lion, come and chat to me. Here comes Grezza.
Hello.
Hello.
I
Yeah.
have already, yes.
Never done podium before,
Hey.
see?
Yeah.
That's my
Damn,
fault.
is this how it feels to be part of the
elite
of the big
squad.
guys?
It's the click, the click. Right, guys. Well, first of all, congratulations to all three of you. All three of you drove absolutely awesome out there. So, what a race! What a race that was! Absolutely brilliant. White Lion, I'll come to you first. P3, mate. Only tiniest of little blips on the day was a 3-second penalty. Otherwise, you did absolutely awesome, buddy. So well done. Please tell us about it.
Well, you probably don't want to hear what I said when I got that 3 second, but it was a pretty. I mean, it was a big surprise to qualifying P3, considering I hadn't done a proper race in 2 months. So it was a nice surprise, and despite a pretty horrible start, going down to P7, pace on the mediums at the end was just really, really good. So I was able to do quite a few overtakes and get the 3 second gap. Yeah, very happy.
Yeah. You must have loved that medium stint. You come flying through the field, really, and some really nice overtakes. And as you say, you got your 3 seconds. So yeah, I mean, yeah. I called at the start that for me, I think that the hard to medium strategy is the best around there. As long as you don't get caught out. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. As long as you don't get caught out by an early safety car, that's the only thing that can throw a spanner in the works. But yeah, fair play to you, man. Really good drive. Glad to see you back out
Thank
there
you.
as well. And so, are you going to be here most weeks? Do you think, now?
We'll see. I didn't feel like clubbing today, so I came, but
You've
who
got
knows?
to now, mate. You've got to.
Yeah,
It's better than clubbing.
Yeah, so this is much better than clubbing. Like, come on.
when you say clubbing, do you mean
Different-
like dancing or like clubbing seals?
Clubbing
What?
seals.
What?
What?
What even is that? I don't know what you're talking about. But clubbing, as in going to a nightclub and dancing, yes.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right. I was just making sure. Each to their own.
I don't know what
Um,
clubbing seals is, but.
Well, you
Hitting
get
seals
you
with
hit
a
a seal on the
bat.
head with a club.
Why? No, usually no. In South Africa we like club like impalas usually. So,
Oh right, okay,
yeah.
fair enough. Everybody else thinks that's a car, but yeah, okay, that's fine. All right then. Well, anyway, congratulations. I'll move on to spread. Not spread. So Grez, I'm so sorry. Spread.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm really Grez.
He's so used to it.
So
When you have a
used to
shit
saying
race, he
spread.
doesn't even know.
Yeah. Grez, I will come to you. My apologies. Well, look, I'd like to say another lap, and you'd have had him, but
Fuck off.
you just couldn't separate each other. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Loved it. You kept us, well, on the edge of our seats right up to the end there. Absolutely loved it. But I don't know. Does P2 taste a bit sour, or are you just as happy, really?
No, I just want a good race, and that was a mega race. I mean, this is why I love France, because safety cars don't ruin it. It's all about strategy and pace. And it was just lap after lap, apex after apex, trying to get Jack. It was full on concentration, and then I think I just timed it wrong to get him. I think I used a bit of ERS to get past him like 3 or 4 laps ago before the end.
Yeah.
And if I'd have saved that, I would have had that on the last penultimate lap.
Yeah.
That's probably the only thing I could pick on, but I couldn't get him anywhere near him on the back straight because I couldn't get out that corner for some reason, and I was mega quick in sector 3. So I felt I had to make my move on the pit straight, but then I was vulnerable on the back straight because Jack was getting the exit. So
Yeah.
it was just trying to pick where to do it and when. But I guess Jack had more ERS in the end, and he saved it well enough.
Yeah, fair enough. You're a mega fan, by the way, Shazza. In the chat is you had a well excited. Been out there, the Greza recharging for the ERS would go in, and yeah, unbelievable. On the other hand, didn't give you driver of the day. That's gone to Shrek. I didn't pick that this week, by the way, so don't blame me. All right, it's Shaz has picked that, so I let Shaz.
All right.
Yeah, so there you go. You know where you stand now,
I don't
Greza.
get driver of the day.
Even-
Fair enough.
Even even you don't get driver. Sorry, you don't get driver of the
After
day.
that
Right, because
fucking
you had a
start,
penalty.
Jesus.
You don't. People with penalties don't get driver of the day. So sorry, buddy.
Is that actually
yeah.
a thing? Or
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he
because
doesn't like getting it. Yeah.
I picked driver of the day, and that's my
Okay.
one rule.
Yeah, I
If you
didn't
get a
get driver
penalty,
of the day at Monaco for getting a penalty when I won by 20 seconds. So.
yeah,
Well, ignore Andy having a brilliant race. That didn't happen.
yeah. So there you are. In a way, Cammy. I don't really know what to say. It's another victory. You're a pole again. So, but my goodness, was it close? I don't just mean the race. The qualifying was exceptionally close as well. It felt like there's a bit of an improvement. The two new guys are clearly quick as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, not you. You were lucky. They were quick. But no, Cammy, awesome job, buddy. I can't fault you on it. From your side, you know.
Yeah, I mean, quality was really nice. I didn't feel like I really had a pace of pole through Q1 and Q2 and first lap in Q3 as well. I just felt that Graham and Spriggs and whatnot were a bit quicker, but I guess I'm pretty good at pulling out a lap out of the bag on the last one in Q3, so I was able to do that. Really improved in sector 3, I think, which was my main place, and then got a good start. Was quite good with defending from spread at the start when he was on mediums in the first 10 laps, and then me and Graham broke away after that, and then I had a bit of an undercut on him. Got out ahead of Spriggs and Fred as well, which I was pretty surprised with on the mediums. And then I knew he was going to catch me, and I was using the ERS all the time to try and and make it as long as I could. But I made a little mistake coming out of the end of section 1 onto the back straight, and he got into my DRS, and so I just thought, right, I'm just going to save everything, and I want to be behind going down the back straight on the last lap. And unfortunately for Graham, there are 27 laps. There's not any more, and I think I played it quite well. It was a brilliant battle, so it was very good fun. But yeah.
Yeah, sums it up, I think. But just to, yeah, first half of the race, the top eight, just, oh my goodness, all
Yeah,
of the top eight for the
You
first
see
half.
when
it all
the
up.
spreader slowed down, and there were 5 of us
Exciting.
within like a second and a half.
Well,
Yeah.
for the first half of that race, the top eight were all within a 1 second of the car ahead, until spreader. Yeah, I think he was. I can only
but
assume his tires were starting to go
One
on him or
went,
something.
like all 5
But,
cars.
yeah,
It was just crazy.
yeah, absolutely insane. And then to be fair, there was then a gap, and the same thing pretty much was happening to the rest of the field further back. So, it was just absolutely. I didn't know where to go tonight because there's potential overtakes all over the place. It's just so hard to know where to go. But
I can sort
that's
of
great.
tell them based in looking at the gaps, it would be a good one to watch that one.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I loved it. I loved every moment, and I think the people watching did as well. So, no, fair play to all of you. That's a great
May I
race.
ask how many people actually watch the streams usually?
Oh, no one.
Just
Um,
to over 100, somewhere around there.
yeah. Watch live. There's 10.
Watch live,
yeah.
yeah.
But watching back. There's
Oh
usually
no,
about
Sky
100.
Sports, mate, what are you on
I
about?
meant watch live.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's usually
of course
around
we are. We're on Sky Sports, so yeah. Actually, watch it via Twitch.
That could be hilarious though. Imagine Skype like at like
Yeah,
3 a.m. They don't know what else they put. So they
Hey,
just
that'd be
slap on
wavy,
a
I mean,
league
that
race.
definitely. Yeah, so about 160 through Twitch, and then however million it is that watch it on Sky later. Um,
At
so
3 a.m.
yeah, that's it. All right then. Well, let's say goodbye to the people on the stream. So as always, guys, thanks very much to all of you that watch live with me and keep me entertained. Shaz, you're incredible. So thank you very much. And Junkie, you're a legend. And Zibanu, nice to hear from you. That's Zombie's friend that's been watching all the way through as well. It's a great chat to you as well. Yeah, thanks to everybody that's watched live with me and kept me entertained. Thanks to everybody that watches the stream back. I really appreciate it, as do the leagues. As I know I say every week, but I'm going to keep saying it as well. We'll see you again next week. Grezzo, what track is it?
We've got
Austria.
Austria and we've got a sprint.
Austria sprints next week. Well, I don't have to ask any of you if you like Austria. Everybody likes Austria, don't they?
No,
Yeah,
I don't.
that'll be mega as well.
I'll go with no. Because
Yeah, I don't like this.
Oh, all right then. Okay. Well, Cammy and White Lion don't like the streets, like Austria. Well, White Lion probably be out clubbing and stills anyway. So, Cammy
Yep,
don't
probably.
like
That
it,
was
so
a
be
good
down the
chance, yeah.
bottom. But yeah. All right then.
Maybe
Well,
I'll start going Saturdays.
okay. Yeah. All right then. Well, thanks very much, guys. Good night. God bless. Enjoy your weekends.
Cheers.